the entrepreneurial world is changing, and as a result, the management of the entrepreneurial world is changing as well. And we need to talk about how you're going to manage this workplace going forward. Especially, you got telecommuting, you got the web, you got all these different forces going at you. So, J.A. Rodriguez is here with us now. He is a corporate ethics consultant, and he's got this fancy book here, Not Intuitively Obvious. Do you see that? Transition to the professional work environment. Why isn't it intuitively obvious?
It's not intuitively obvious because it takes quite a few years to actually learn the ropes and actually learn how to maneuver throughout the business and what it takes to be successful. So that part of it is not obvious.
As an entrepreneur or in this ever-changing world?
Actually, all over the place. It's just not obvious. You know, as an entrepreneur, what are the strategies that entrepreneurs have to have? And that is, you know, frankly, opportunists, right? You have to find a gap, and then you've got to fill that gap, and you have to fill that gap quickly. And so if you're able to do that, then you're good to go. From a business perspective, if you're there already, and you're a seasoned company, and you have your customer base already, you kind of have to take a look at it from a different approach now. I call it the romancing the customer part. You know? You have to be able to assess your situation, and you have to be able to convince those customers to keep coming back to you.
It's almost sexy again to have customer service. Because for a while I think it wasn't. They blew us off. Like, you can walk into a store, nobody cared, but you know what? We were buying anyway. And now we're not. And now I need a reason to buy.
You got that right. And it's only a reason to buy personally from a consumer perspective, but customers have tight funding as well. And so they are looking for not the person that's going to do the job well. They're looking for the person that's going to do the job great. They want great customer service, not average. They don't want on-time delivery. They want before-time delivery.
And free. I tell you, I've noticed it, and you're going to laugh, but I noticed it in particular in Bed Bath & Beyond. You cannot walk in that store now without 1,000 people offering to help you and not leaving till you're helped. It wasn't like that before.
It wasn't like that before, and it is driven by the market.
Sure.
It's a need, and it's a survival technique that actually works. And if you're an entrepreneur, for example, it's built in you. It's part of your DNA to do that, simply because you're starting anew, and you know what the importance of a customer is.
So what are some of the things that you're telling your clients when you get out there now?
Well, what I tell them is this, you know, you have to have a base, first of all. Never forget your base. You have to have ethics, you have to have integrity, you have to have a value system base that you have. Then you have to focus on your employees. You have to be able to bring your employees in with your organization in a common cause. Employees are not tools. Employees are assets for the company in order so that they can both progress. It has to be both. The second thing I do is focus on your organization. The organization itself must be able to understand and work so that the intent of the directives are followed, not the directives themselves. In other words, if you say, I want this job done quickly, the impression is that you're going to forget all about ethics and quality and safety and performance and everything else, and you're just going to get the work out the door. You have to work on the intent of the directive, which is get the work out in addition to following all the company values.
What's interesting is you've yet to mention the customer at all. You're talking about all internal stuff. Your values, your ethics base, your employee. And we're starting to hear this more and more. If your employees are happy, that translates into a happy customer.
Absolutely. If you have happy employees, or if the cultures in your company is to produce and have happy employees, then that's going to show in your customer. If you produce on time or before time, if you bring it in on schedule and under budget, your customers are going to come forward. And let me tell you, without the customer, you don't have a business.
Right.
Right? But without employees, you don't have a business either.
Maybe you can get on the phone with all the call servicing, Dell call service stations out in India, because I just don't think they're happy. That must be the reason why they're so obnoxious on the phone, but that's just me. So let's talk now about how you get to the customer and keep the customer happy.
Okay, you get to the customer by saying what you do, doing what you say, and meeting those commitments. If you can do that and do it in a way that the customer, it meets their commitment, then you're good to go. The other thing is also you have to provide the low-risk solutions for the customer. It isn't just a solution. It is the lowest solution at the best cost. And if you can do that, you have the customer on your side.
How do you compete, or how do businesses compete, especially the entrepreneur? He's out, he's young, he or she young, starting, getting out there, tons of stuff out there. Web is killing you. It's all over the place. How do you stay ahead?
You stay ahead and then my other part of the model is trends. You have to take a look at trends, and not to predict the future, but to make the future happen. So you have to take a look at what's happening now. You have to, and not only in the United States, you have to look abroad as to what the markets are doing globally. And then you have to be able to look at it from an entrepreneur point of view and find the gap. Where is the gap? Competition comes from finding a gap, understanding it, and then making it happen. You have the marketing end of things. Now you have the associated selling end of things. And then you have the convincing of the customer that you can actually produce what you say you're going to produce.
Right, that's the brilliance of entrepreneurs, right? They found a niche and they found a need and they went ahead and did something about it.
Exactly. Many people find niches. Oh, you know, I got a niche, you know, we need this particular niche. But to go out and do it.
So the book is about basically all this.
The book is about transitioning to the professional work environment. So you as an employee, to come into the work environment, you will know your trade. You came out of college and you will know a trade. But you don't know about all the politics that are associated with it. You don't know about expectation and the expectation fulfillment part of it. And so that's what the book talks about is how do you get into that realm? How do you get into a work environment and be successful and thrive in an environment where expectations are not often given to you?
Well, it's almost like then the employee needs to understand where the manager's coming from and understand all the other aspects of the business because it makes you understand your job better. Much like myself, understanding what the producers do, understanding what it takes to make graphics and things like that. Because in the beginning I didn't. And then I think you're a better employee when you understand how hard everybody else's job is.
Absolutely. If I go like this, you may think that means give me the work right away, right? In fact, what I just snapped was happy birthday. Right? Communications. I meant happy birthday. You thought I meant right now. So it's very, very important as managers that we communicate in a way that employees can understand and talk the language that the employees can understand.
And learn how to snap. I can't do it. J.A. Rodriguez, check out his new book. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much.
It's a tough world out there. I mean, any little edge you can get brings you ahead, that's for sure.
You got to get the mojo.
There you go. We got to get the mojo. We're going to go get more mojo. We're going to take a break. We'll be back.